I'm gonna have a big tea party and I'll invite all my physical friends. Sit around and chew as per due. Talk about all the boys that we have done. What shall we eat? Something that's new. Cucumber sandwiches, noble meat. I'm gonna have a big tea party and I'll invite all my physical friends. And I'll invite all my physical friends.
Plundering pachyderms are set to stomp on the values that we espouse, and yet the city greets them only as cash cows. The fawning invitation that the city gladly gives only serves to make this a place where hypocrisy lives. The doors are flung open so the visitors feel at home, when we should be banishing mouths that froth hate's feverish foam.
Well, the Democrats and Republicans are taking pot shots at one another. There's a terrible human toll taken by gun violence. In Philadelphia, at Independence Hall and the Liberty Bell, I'm at a different kind of demonstration. There are no puppets here, there are no angry slogans, there's no one talking. In fact, this is a silent march of empty shoes. Thousands of pairs of shoes representing the number of people that have been killed by gun violence in America.
These shoes represent victims of gun violence. We have 19,000 pairs here, which is the number of teenagers and children killed from guns since the last election. A lot of these shoes were given to us by the families of victims. They were shoes that their family members wore. These shoes are here as a testament to the cost of gun violence in our society.
Across the way, on the other side of the Liberty Bell, is a counter-demonstration, the Sisters for the Second Amendment. Their slogan is, Moms for Guns. Why is the right to bear arms important to you?
It's important to the entire nation because it's what protects the ordinary citizen from an overzealous government, but also it allows the individual to protect themselves from the criminal element.
You're a doctor. Have you ever personally seen the effects of gun violence?
I have. Just 2 weeks ago, an 8-year-old boy found a loaded weapon. I don't know the circumstances of whose gun and why it was there, but he found a loaded weapon and he shot his brother or friend in the face. And this happens in all levels of the socioeconomic culture. So, I mean, it's not just an inner city and what people would say is the criminal fringe. You know, this happens with many people where the gun may be kept in the bedside table loaded and Johnny knows where it is and shows his friend, and should he be able to pick it up and have a bullet in it and then put a bullet through his friend's head? I mean, it happens a lot, too many times.
A lot of what we're trying to do is we're trying to turn numbers, faceless numbers, into real people and something that people can put their minds around. When they come here and they could think all of these shoes could be filled right now if it weren't for guns, that's something that really affects people.
A firearm is the most efficient tool of protection.
Self-protection is a myth.
A 1998 study showed that for every time a gun in the home is used in self-defense, there are 4 unintentional shootings. Gun violence is an epidemic in the United States. How can we prevent this?
Number one, if you're a gun owner, rethink why you have the gun. Are you really threatened? And if you're not, think about getting rid of the gun. Number two, if you really feel threatened and that you need to have the gun, keep it in a safe place with it locked up, with the ammunition locked separately.
The only way to lower the number of unnecessary gun deaths is to get guns out of the home.
A lot of what we need to do is have the government regulate the gun industry, make it harder to sell, make guns be safer, the design, the manufacture, the distribution, and the marketing.
I say that kids know where these guns are, and we need safe gun laws so that the gun, if obtained by a child, cannot be used to kill them or their friend.
If you go to your toaster has a light on it that says it's on. Guns don't have that. Guns don't have an indicator saying that they're loaded. That could be so easily done, and it would save lives because people wouldn't think guns are unloaded when they are loaded. Children's pajamas, there's so many regulations for that. They don't have things like that. Just basic regulations that make sure when a gun is dropped, it's not going to fire.
Well, there is gun technology like smart guns and trigger locks that can prevent the accidental firing of a firearm. It's easier for a 4-year-old to discharge a weapon than it is to open a bottle of aspirin. this lack of regulation of the firearm industry.
The reason the industry is not regulated is because there are people who do not want it to be regulated, and those people have power and money.
And who are those people that don't want the gun industry to be regulated?
I think a lot of that is the gun lobby. The NRA is the most public of that.
I might sue you.
Because of the troubling way that political candidates raise campaign funds, the NRA becomes a striking example of how a powerful special interest group pays its way to get what it wants. The stories of the National Rifle Association's political clout are not exaggerated. Lobbying and campaign money are the primary obstacles standing in the way of reasonable gun control laws.
7 people died of the mosquito epidemic last year in New York, but they're spending millions of dollars to spray pesticides all over. But 10 kids every single day die from handgun violence. And how much is being done at a national and local level? How much money is going into that to prevent those injuries?
We don't want any further gun control. We want to put a stop to that right away, and then eventually we will be looking at the laws that are already on the books.
The Sisters for the Second Amendment say that the laws are already in place to stop gun violence. Do you think that's true?
I don't think it is. I think if the laws are in place, why do we still have 30,000 people dying each year?
Rock, 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 rock. And now, Big Tea Parties, protest play of the day.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am a fat cat, and I work for the Triple F Foundation. That's right, Freedom Fighter Fashion 2000. When you take to the streets in the year 2000, you should expect lots of difficulty from the men in blue. Yes, we also do fascist force fashion. Because fat cats will market our fashions to anyone who will buy it.